MTN Ghana marks 30 years of service, pledges connectivity, investments, national growth initiatives. So it's connectivity investment. So investments geared towards connectivity and national growth initiatives as well. Reject Goldfields lease extension for Takwa Mine. IEA urges government. And yes, rightly so. It's that interview we did. And that's on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper this morning. Baumia positions NPP youth for 2028 victory. Yoko detains Dr. Sledge's wife over myth. To Mr. Hughes this morning.
Mr. Egbeta, how are you doing? Charlie,
bless,
you look very
Caribbean-ish.
Yeah, I have plans for the weekend. This is a summer shirt, a very
strictly
African wear, but it looks like a summer shirt,
Strictly.
And then those who are wondering, please go onto our Facebook page. You can check out the shirts. A shirt of many colors.
Something
that you would wear if you ever have the chance to visit the Caribbean.
Today I decided to be a bit.
You look like a very rich man.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
The rain has showed everybody where power lies.
Yeah.
And it exposes us once more as a people, as a country. But most importantly, I think that beyond talking to officialdom, beyond asking officials to do, what they have to do or what they are mandated to do, the citizens also have a responsibility towards their own sanity and their own safety. That for me is very, very crucial. But we'll get into that conversation. Let's take a look at the daily graphic. I'm looking at the 50 SHSs to be upgraded.
Yeah.
The conversation, as I heard, being put out there by the president and also be reiterated by the Minister for Education.
Education, right.
Suggests that grade C schools will be upgraded to grade B schools. For me, that's also a good initiative. This is not the first time, though, that we're hearing that double track will end. You remember that we had heard at some point in the previous administration that double track was going to end, and the story continues. Now we know and have been told that it will end in 2027. 2027 is not far off, it's just next year. The timelines, though, we don't know, but I hope that we are able to do this so that it gives the children some breathing space. I had a very distressing call from a parent who has a ward at Abri Girls School on the mountains, and she said that this is is it a Hamley House or Canterbury House? One of the houses, I've forgotten exactly what it was, but it bore the name of an Anglican priest or an Anglican bishop, a late Anglican bishop. And she said that the dormitory the house is overcrowded. You can't find anywhere to put your feet. The children are, the girls are, have been compacted like sardines, and she was not so happy about it. What her pet peeve was is that a new facility had been put up, and they were waiting for somebody, I'm sure, to come and cut the ribbon before the girls are moved into those places for them to have a breathing space. And in her own words, she puts it, the dormitory or the house is rotten in the sense that all the facilities are not in the best of shape. There are no spaces for the girls to feel comfortable. And these are adolescents growing up. They could pick up manner of infections if by chance one person has it. Their self-confidence, etc., could be injured. And she mentions that they always come home with cough, cold, because they are closer together. Like, it's not hygienic. So I'm happy that this will become a thing of the past. But in the interim, if a facility has been put up in a school, like you remember many years ago, I did something on the Kaira JHS in the Volta region with Joseph Armstrong. The DC at the time had the keys, but the building was done and the children were learning on the veranda or the corridor of the school. We spoke about it. He was invited to Accra. The next day, the classrooms were open for the children to go and use. I sometimes don't get it, that you have used state resources to construct these things. What are you waiting for before you open them up? What exactly are you waiting for? That's always been my question. That you put this facility up for the benefit of the people, for the benefit of the children, for the benefit of, if it's a hospital, for the benefit of patients, if it's whatever it is, for the benefit of the people. Then you're done with it and you're waiting for what exactly? I don't get it. School buildings, it happens. Hospitals, same. Name the facilities. So we need to, as a country, come to terms with the fact that as soon as the thing is done, the political pump and patch into it should become a thing of the past. And we don't have to be robotic in our nature, in our movement, and in our thinking when we are seeing people suffering. We should be able to make a proposition. Sometimes the politicians, they forget themselves. Sometimes they assume that, you are not in immediate need of that facility. That's why you have not come to them to come and say that, Honorable, please come and open the facility up for us. But I believe that if you are able to table reasons that are cogent enough to tell them, the minister or whoever it is, that, boss, you see, if we are able to open the facility now, these are the benefits that will accrue to us. If we don't, these are the consequences that will come along with it. I'm sure that they are human beings and they will find reason. But in most of the cases, you find that the technocrats or the civil servants are afraid, for want of a better expression, of political authority, so they are quiet. And I have had cause on many different occasions to have just made one announcement on Johnny's Bite, and the next moment the thing is open. And I said, but you're a big man.
So they knew about it.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're a big man. You are there. The facility is there. You know it is there. Perhaps the minister or the member of parliament or the DC or whoever it is may have even forgotten that there's something like that there. Because there's a lot on their plate. Politicians, if you ever have gotten closer to them, there are always a lot on their plates. So if you don't go and make a strong case for yourself for the facility to be opened, there's a problem. Look, a school is constructed. There are no toilet facilities. Then subsequently, somebody, a DC, MP, or minister, or whoever it is, or any of the government agency heads, says, okay, these are corporate social responsibility to this school. Let's go and construct a toilet facility for them. The toilet facility is done, and it is locked up. I had a particular case around the Ring Road school here, right behind us, next to the Lutheran school. When we did that expose on Community Connect, a new toilet had been constructed for the children, and it has been locked up because they were waiting for somebody to come and cut ribbon, and they were still using the old one, and sometimes using the big drain behind the old facility, so that they can ease themselves. Then I asked the question: so if the young girls want to swap their parts in the time of the month, how do they do it?
Yeah.
The dignity, the level of dignity that we drop, to it. So I would take the opportunity to urge teachers, doctors, nurses, civil servants, whatever it is. Sometimes be bold enough and make a respectful request and reminder that, Chief, we put up this thing about 2-3 years ago. It's been under lock and key. We are not using it. We need it now. Are you able to come and open it for us? Or should we go ahead and make the request and let the man or woman give you an answer contrary to what your request is? And then we can take it up from there. But until that time, when you have made that request, you cannot. You cannot.
Most definitely. And we'll get into the details of some of the stories in the papers as well. What's caught my attention is the conversation surrounding the Takwa mine lease. I think Justice Sophia Kufu, I was hearing as well, the former Speaker of Parliament, Mike Eronokwe, Professor Mike Eronokwe, speaking to it. I'm going to read that story and what has been a response of some sort.
Honorable
Professor.
Reverend.
Okay, there's a Reverend
Professor.
as well.
The man has ended thing.
Yeah.
Reverend Professor.
So
Mike Aaron.
that, and then a response by the Chamber of Mines to perhaps put it in perspective, and then I come to you on that. So the Daily Guide's page 3 has a story. It's in a number of papers, but I have the Daily Guide, so
It's
I'll just
also on the
read
front
it.
page of the Daily Graphic,
Absolutely,
by the way.
absolutely, because a number of the papers have it, and it looks like it's a conversation that's coming up. Also, because I've seen a picture of Goldfields, is it their CEO, one of their top men in the country, who's been speaking about how the Takwa mine operations in Ghana is about 25% of all of the mining they do the world over. So that suggests that that's a huge chunk in terms of what they receive. But here's a story in terms of what IEA has been saying. They say the Institute for Economic Affairs has opposed Goldfields Ghana's Limited's request for a 20-year extension of its mining lease for the Takwa mine, describing the move as contrary to Ghana's long-term economic and strategic interests. Now, speaking at a press conference in Accra on Tuesday, former Chief Justice and IEA fellow Sophia Abena Boafo Ekufu called on the government to reject the application and instead pursue a framework that guarantees meaningful Ghanaian ownership and control. Now, a few quotes from her. The IEA considers the requested lease renewal or extension, as we choose to call it, to be deeply inimical to Ghana's long-term economic and strategic interests, and therefore calls on the government to reject it. That's one quote. Now, according to her, the mine produces about 500,000 ounces of gold annually, valued at more than $2.3 billion at current global prices. Another quote from her: the operations of Goldfields in Takwa exemplify the enduring consequences of extractive concession arrangements that overwhelmingly favor foreign investors. But the Chamber of Mines have been clapping back. Is the headline the News Center decides to go with? They say Chamber of Mines claps back at IEA. And here's a story. The Ghana Chamber of Mines has mounted a robust defense of the country's current mining framework, rejecting growing calls for the nationalization of mining assets and cautioning that abrupt policy shifts could undermine investor confidence, destabilize operations, and erode Ghana's reputation as a stable mining jurisdiction. The pushback comes in response to recent proposals by the IEA, which has urged government to reconsider lease renewals for major mining concessions, including Goldfields, Takwa Mine, and instead pursue full Ghanaian ownership and strategic control of mineral resources. At the center of the Chamber's response is a firm warning that Ghana's mining success story, built over decades of reforms, private investment, and regulatory evolution, must not be reversed by what it describes as emotionally driven policy prescriptions. So that is it. I think there's one more detail that I need to add, that government has issued a 2027 timeline for which operations by these large mining companies must be taken over by Ghanaians.
Yeah.
So that is the full circle in terms of the context in relation to the story. Is it a rush, or we're perfectly justified in seeking nationalization of our resources at this time? Because that push has been on. We saw Heath Goldfields take over a concession. We've seen ENP as well, and now we're seeing this conversation.
I don't think it is rushed. I think it is a call in the right direction. I'm not sure that any of us has lived longer than Professor Aaron Michael Quay or the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Sophia, her ladyship, Sophia Kufu. I'm very confident in my mind, having done some work at least for the IEA with my good friend Dr. Gideon Chitanga from Zimbabwe and Jerry Kokwapia back in the day in 2007, all the way in Gwolu and beyond, that the IEA knows its beans, and the IEA would not make a public pronouncement if they are not very, very sure of what they are saying. Now, over the years, we have been, and they are not the only ones who are saying it. They are, some CSOs have also been saying that, look, let's make sure that this stays here with us. The reasoning that I get from it is this. Over the years, we mine, and how much of the money do we get? Have you had the opportunity, Mayona, for example, to go to Obuasi? I had the opportunity to go to Obuasi in recent time when our colleague PURI's mother passed, and then subsequently 2 years after I went visited the place. Look, Obuasi gives us a lot of gold, but go and check the Obuasi township itself. It looks like I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't look like
it's called a hanging city.
It doesn't look like it doesn't look anything like Johannesburg. It doesn't look anything like it, right? And you ask yourself how the resources that are generated from here, what God in His infinite wisdom decided to bless Mother Ghana with, how we have benefited from it. A bigger chunk of the gold that is mined out of this country is not kept in this country. But for Gold Board, the story would have been completely different. There was gold for oil and many other initiatives that have come towards that direction. All those are piecemeal approaches. And I like what Mr. Ibrahim Muhammad said. He said, look, I would rather have my money here to be invested in Ghanaian banks to help Ghanaians so that we can all grow. He sees the opportunity. I'm sure that's in the same line that the former Chief Justice, former Speaker of Parliament, asked him, this is number 2 and number 3 and number 4 in a previous regime, singing the same song and telling you that we have been in there, we know what's happening, we see what's happening. The question is, do we have the capacity to be able to do this? Yes. The mining companies have said that they have the capacity to do it. Why is Goldfields interested in coming back?
Yeah.
Because they know what is there.
It's not a comeback per se. They own the lease now and they are operating. They just want an extension.
The lease will expire
next year.
But why are they interested in renewing the list or coming back?
It's 25. It constitutes 25% of operations
exactly
for
the
them.
point. Now, it constitutes 25% of the operations for them. What is the value? When you mention 25%, that it simplifies the conversation. What is their value? How much do they make from those mines? And how much do we as a country make from those mines? That's the question. And if the thing changes into Ghanaian hands, how much will we make? And how would that better the lot of the Republic of Ghana and the people within the Republic of Ghana? That's the conversation. So I will want to understand why there's a clapback from the Chamber of Mines, Engineer Dr. Kenashibi, as to why that call is not in the right direction at this point. They need to come and give us further and better particulars as to what exactly the missing link is, or what exactly we may not understand. But at first glance and on the face value, if this has to stay with us for us to be able to mine our own thing, it is a good deal for us. A very, very good deal for us. And I don't think that it is rushed at all. I think that while we wait for the 2027 period, we need to put in the proper structures, the proper measures to be able to be ready to take over. Like we've seen in the Damine conversation with engineers and planners. They've been working along with them for a very, very long time. They know the grounds. In fact, the machines belong to them. Expertise,
wouldn't this be
experience.
different?
Well,
because you see, you mentioned the Damine instance where the local participation was there and they were doing some work for some time, and so they knew the terrain and pretty much they ran the operations. Isn't that the reason why government is saying, look, large multinational firms, by this date, make Ghanaian companies the ones to run operations in preparation for future possible
which
takeovers?
mine are we talking about? Takwa mine.
Not just Takwa mines. In fact, there's a sweeping. It's part of the sweeping
but Takwa mine
reforms.
so engineers and planners also has a hand around Takwa mines as well. The rules within the mining space is that you are Goldfields. You have come to collect the lease. You own the mine, while the lease is still in force. You are not supposed to be the one doing the mining. You're supposed to get
It's now that it's coming in.
No.
In fact, it's now that the government has.
It's always been there. It's always been there. You own the mine. You own the lease. But you are not supposed to be doing the mining. Somebody else is supposed to be doing the mining for you. That's what they call the contractor. And for a very long time, that was how come engineers and planners was playing within that field. For a very, very long time. So gold fields and all those big companies that you talk about, they have had to depend on the expertise, the machinery, and the experience of engineers and planners to be able to run the place. Now, do we have another engineers and planners? In the last bid, we saw companies, right? Hit Goldfields, we saw Maripoma, we saw a couple of them, right? In the last bid. Can we go back to that conversation and start looking at capacity and start looking at how we can encourage them to build and start looking at how we can strengthen their loins so that they're able to take over? Because if it's left to me, if my father has something, I will not go and call an outsider to come and help me to handle it if I have the capacity and the capability to be able to handle it. So I think this is a call in the right direction. We need to own our stuff. Since the colonial days, it's been people doing it on our behalf and we getting a pittance of what is generated. I think it's time for us now to get what is ours and to own what is ours and to enjoy what is ours and to use it for the benefit of our people. That's what I think.
Right. Let us know what you think as well, because it looks like this mine conversation is one that will come around and might stick with us for a while as Goldfields continues in the advocacy for a renewal of the license, and a number of us as well, including the IEA. When I say us, I mean different groupings, right? The IEA inclusive, all pushing for nationalization. A number of you have been sending messages in relation to this. Neron de Boanegros has sent quite a long list.
Volume.
Yeah. He says, it's sad that this is coming from the Chamber of Mines. Can the government take over so that the nation can have a mine of its own, generating more revenue instead of always taxing the citizens? For 30 years of mining, what have they done for the country? They can't even develop the town in which they are mining, he says. Aaron Babako Kokomisa is in relation to the headline I read about the Ghana Water Company situation. Says that, good morning to you. The recent advisory from the Ghana Water Company Limited instructing residents in Western Accra to store water is strategically flawed and lacks temporal relevance. The communication is fundamentally reactive, as a service disruption commenced on Wednesday preceding the official notice. The water company must transition to a proactive notification framework. I propose a mandatory 7-day lead time for scheduled maintenance, supplemented by consistent reminders, providing a week of foresight rather than a delayed 24 to 48-hour notice. It is essential for effective consumer preparedness and institutional accountability, he says.
Speaking of which, the Ghanaian Times on the back page reports that parts of Western Accra to face water supply interruptions, and they say this is because of the low pressure following technical challenges at the Wager water treatment plant, and the areas to be affected include Dansoman, Mamprobi, Mataheko, Latebi Okoshi, Kolebu, La Paz, McCarthy Hill, Bawe, Malam, Tesano, Dakuman, North Kaneshi, Dome Achimota, Anya, Ablekuma, and the surrounding areas. And it says, well, engineers are working towards it. If you've noticed, the pipe doesn't flow as much as it works to my benefit, though, because some of us, we wake up very, very early, sometimes around 1:30 a.m. That's when the water flows, so you're able to store water. But they're encouraging customers or residents
it's a bit difficult
to store water.
Imagine me, for instance, who lives at dawn, returns very late.
You live alone, so who's going to store the water for you?
You can imagine. So it will be difficult for persons in situations similar to mine. Then it becomes very difficult to store, because what do you stay and arrive in the office late? Right. To try and store water, or do you deprive yourself of sleep to store water, and the water flows once a week.
It's one of the. I mean, so essentially we need to store water, but it brings a bigger conversation of how obsolete the pipes that the water flows through are. We have always spoken about it. I've always complained about the fact that we used to have Ghana Water and Sewage Company Limited. That was the original nomenclature. Ghana Water and Sewerage Corporation. Just like we had Ghana Post and Telecommunication. We decided that we're going to divide them into two. And we sold Ghana Telecom. You remember? And left Ghana Post to be suffering. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in his wisdom, decided that we should have Ghana Post and Telecommunication. That was how it was called, why it was called P&T. We decided to sell the T and left the P to suffer. The same thing we did with Ghana Water and Sewerage Corporation. Because when I was growing up as a boy, that was when they bring your water bill, that was the nomenclature on it.
Yeah.
And then we sold the water component. Remember Aqua Vitens Run? Do you remember Aqua Vitens?
Aqua Vitens.
We brought them in, pretty much like PDS. What did we get?
To help with
what did we get
for Ghana Water Company?
What did we get? So we sold the water part. Now, you see the sewerage part. All those pipes that had one sewerage line around the Tema areas and it was well organized. Go and see. These days, people sit in their houses and before they know, boom, somebody's number two is appearing in their homes. And then you find all these tanks that are supposed to be pulling people's stuff in town, in traffic, haphazardly, some leaking their stuff on the roads and all of that. But we know that since that time, we have not had any major change of the underground pipes. And we keep talking about the fact that these pipes are metallic. And anybody knows that after some time, all these metallic pipes have to be changed.
Yeah.
What efforts have we made to be able to change them? Beyond the conversation around galamsey, siltation, destroying the pumps, low pressure, whatever it is. How have we worked over the years? And I'm not blaming Adam Mutawakilu, but how have we worked over the years? CEO after CEO or MD after MD to be able to change the pipes underground, because that's also a major problem. I grew up in the Kaneshie estate. Our underground pipe at the time in the house was, I think, a copper pipe or so, and another metallic pipe. At some point, we realized that the pressure was so low. The Ghana Water Company people came to us and told us to change that to PVC pipes. We changed that and the pressure changed. So if they know and they tell residents to change, why has the Ghana Water Company not taken pleasure in trying to change it over time? Because they make a lot of money selling water to us, right? They make a lot of money trying to sell water to us. They harvest raw water. They will add chlorine, maybe alum, maybe silt it a bit, sift it a bit, and push the water to us. The raw water is not sold to them. This morning it has rained. The rivers and the lakes will be full. The rivers and the lakes that will feed the wager, the pond treatment, etc. Nobody goes to take money from them for it. But when they are giving us the water, it is sold to us. It means that they are in business and they are making some money. So they have to wake up and change those pipes. Number two, Maweda, have you noticed that when you report a problem to the Ghana Water Company, they come, they fix it. If it has to be do with digging the pavement or digging the middle of the road, it is dug, and then after that, it is left alone.
Yeah.
Have you noticed it? And I've had so many instances. I've spoken to Stanley Mate over it. I said, what is the SOP of these guys you send out there? Because before they come to fix the problem, let's say a burst underground pipe, before they come to fix the problem, the road would have been asphalted. The pavement will have pavement blocks properly laid. And they are not alone in that situation. The telcos are also part of the problem. ECG is also part of the problem. They dig and then they take out whatever they have to take out. They fix whatever problem they have to fix. And then they leave the situation there. So I'm asking, what kind of interagency collaboration do they have that Ghana Water Company will pick up a phone and tell the assembly that I am going to location X to go and fix an underground pipe. It will take me digging, and when I finish digging, please let your people be on standby so we can fix it. If they have to pay something small to the assembly to get the engineers to fix it, why not? But then you ride through town, they have dug some parts of the road, they have dug some pavements, they have dug some street corners and heaps of sand, and it's been left there just like that. And based on that small pothole that is created, or that opening that is created, you find that the road start deteriorating and start going bad, and the people start complaining, traffic builds up, people have to visit the workshop every now and then. What's going on? This is basic, simple interagency collaboration. Basic. You will not go to the UK and see somebody has gone to dig somewhere, water company has gone to dig somewhere, and then they've left it, and it is there for weeks, for months. You will not find that. The telcos will not go and dig anywhere, underground cables, and leave it. But in our country, we do it, and we do it with glee, and we leave it. We behave like those mechanics. You take a vehicle to the mechanic to go fix for you. You tell the mechanic, oh, my traffic indicator doesn't work. He said, oh, no problem. He fixes the traffic indicator, and your reverse light is constantly on. Or you tell him that your brake is not functional. He fixes the brake, but your clutch doesn't work. So they fix one problem, and then they generate another for you. We must stop that as a country. And you see, it's consistent. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, to the point that the people have now become used to it. So if somebody has a burst pipe, and then they come and they fix it, and a big underground burst pipe, they come and fix it, and they leave all those things there, the people don't even complain about it again, because they know that my water is flowing. But should it be so? Should it be so? ECG is guilty. The telcos are guilty. Ghana Water Company is guilty. They are all guilty of what I'm talking about. And our listeners and viewers can tell us. They know it. They know what I'm talking about. And it is all over the country. They do it every time. In fact, this morning, if they have to go and fix something somewhere, or some telco has to dig something, and sometimes they tell you they are fixing some fiber optic, or they are doing something, they make it look so very, very important. Of course, it is important. But when you are finished, know that school children use those pavements to go to school. Know that old and vulnerable people use those same pavements to go to school. Know that somebody has just bought a new car, struggled through the period to get some maybe 90,000, some 95,000 to go and buy some small car to be able to go through Accra, because Uber, Bolt, Yango fares are chopping them. And then they had to contend with potholes that you have created, man-made potholes. How?
And very legitimate in terms of these concerns as well, and the expectation on the water company in particular. I think Aaron's suggestions as to forward-looking in terms of the conversations is very important, but of critical importance also to national image, and I'm moving away completely from the water situation, is our recent tango. I mean the good people of Ghana, our tango with the Federal Bureau of Investigations in the United States.
FBI is in town.
They've been in town for some time.
I know, but when I say FBI in town, some people don't like it.
Particularly since last year. There's been...
In fact, before last year. The FBI has been in town way, way, way before that.
So we've seen an increase in the number of reports of persons extradited, persons arrested, persons being sentenced, cybercrime, romance fraud. In terms of the reporting and the arrest and whatever, that has picked up quite some heat since last year up until this year. And yesterday, news came from the U.S. Attorney General's office in Ohio, to be specific, where 3 Ghanaians two siblings, 22-year-old siblings, twins, as a matter of fact, and they go by very interesting names. Lancaster and Arrangement. That's the names they've operated with. Were arrested in Virginia somewhere this year, along with another Ghanaian, a 50-something-year-old Ghanaian, in detention. There's the Abu Trika case. And if you read a story which was put out by the Ohio State Attorney's Department, about 5 Ghanaians already sentenced for different matters in relation to romance scam. And as much as we will say, oh, they are doing well, we have to have the conversation. Why are we seeing
what
it
conversation do you want to have?
In the manner in
What
which
conversation would you
we're
want?
seeing
If the law enforcement has caught up with the thief, what conversation do you want to have? Marina, what conversation do we want to have? You don't want to work. At 22, you want to live like somebody who has lived in this life for more than, or worked for more than 40 years. Marina, what conversation do you want to have? A 22-year-old boy wants to drive a Ferrari when his grandfather, who has worked for 40, 50 years, doesn't even have a bicycle to show for it. What conversation do we want to have? Marina, have you not realized that ever since the FBI started showing their teeth properly, after being here for some time, you see all the big nightclubs have closed down?
A number of them.
So people don't work. But you go to those nightclubs and you find that people have spent up to 800,000 cedis on one night. Do you know what 800,000 cedis is? 100,000 cedis in the old currency is 1 billion. I lie. 1 billion.
To the 8 billion titisika.
8 billion titisika or what the fuck with D. And what are they spending it on? They are buying champagne. They are buying shisha. Then they have daughters of Eve around them. iPhone 17. I'm not against people living soft life. Work hard for the money. Mr. Ibrahim Mama said something when he was giving the money and opening the Jata cement depot for the gentleman who was chased away from South Africa. He said he wants him to sell the things, make profit, and reinvest it into the business. These twins, they were going to collect what, $2 million after chopping $1 million.
The story you were telling, you were narrating yesterday.
$2 million. They followed Obroni to go and collect $2 million after chopping $1 million already, and some other coins. Now the Obroni decided that, look, I am going to be your drop-off person, because they apparently confided in the Obroni that, oh, this is what we do. So the Obroni said, oh, I'll be your drop-off person. You scam Phil. You scam Phil. And then when you scam Phil, let Phil drop the money off with me. Then I will remit to you. So that has been going on for a long time. And then they invited Obroni home. The Obroni came down to Ghana. Came to see where they live, how they live, what they do, big boy life, everything else. And then Obroni went away. And then Obroni came back again and said, look, this is your 1 million. But the 2 million of the 3 million, you have to come with me to the US to come and collect it. Sheepishly, they followed Obroni. And then when they got in there, they grabbed you. Why should I be feeling sorry for such people? I won't be feeling sorry for them. And you know, the 56-year-old is what even... So what was he teaching them? We will wake up at dawn and use cold water to bath. And we went through the rain this morning to be here, just so we can get no coffee to go back and feed our families and keep body and soul together. At 22 years, you want to live like King Solomon of current memory. Why should I be feeling sorry for you? If I were the FBI, I would pick all of them up and jail all of them. All of them. That kind of unnecessary pressure that they buy for people must stop. It is the reason you have biscuit factory jobs. And I've worked in a biscuit factory before. It's the reason you have biscuit factory jobs, and people who have no work experience don't want to work in a biscuit factory. Because they'll be thinking, how much would the biscuit factory pay me? 1,200, 800, 1,500. It's not good. I won't do it. They are looking for money, work that will pay them 40,000 cedis a month, 60,000 cedis a month. And even that, they won't be able, it will not be enough. So they have to do other things. These boys are the reason most of the young girls are doing hookup these days. Some of these boys. They are the reason some of the girls are doing hookup these days. They won't focus on their studies. Their nails are so long. They come from a home where their parents, the whole family of 6, sleep in a single room. The whole family of 6, including them, sleep in a single room. Suddenly they go to university. The parents struggle to gather money to take them to the university. After first semester, they come home. They have an iPhone 17. They come home. They don't want to do any house chores. They come home. They have bone straight. They come home. They have a makeup kit with foundation and all those things they put in there.
Are you speaking against?
No, I'm not speaking against it. I'm saying that you are a student. You are in level 100. You are in your first semester, second semester. Your parents are taking care of your school fees and your hostel fees. They are struggling to do it. How are you richer than your parents when you don't work, and your parents who work cannot even make ends meet? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. I am not against anybody. If you come from a rich family and your dad has money and he has worked genuinely for it and he's providing those things for you, touche. But where you come from a poor home, and then your mother, and then some of the mothers don't also help. Your child goes to the university. You 6 of you live in one compound house in a single room with a small porch, and you share washrooms with the other tenants. Suddenly, this girl comes back from school and has everything and is able to provide for the family, and wakes up at 10:20 a.m. and vanishes at night. And comes back the next morning, sometimes goes away for 2 days and comes back. And you are not bothered as a parent, as a mother, to ask, where does my daughter go? Who is my daughter with? The story is told of a girl who was in a similar situation like that at Legon, the University of Ghana, one of the hostels. So this girl suddenly dies. I think in level 200 or so. Rumors are that they used her for rituals or whatever it is. This girl suddenly dies. So the parents have come to the campus, to the hostel, to come and retrieve her things, collect her things. And then the caretaker of the hostel says, oh, madam, 22-year-old girl. She has 2 cars parked, so she lives a double life. She comes to school and she has access to cars which belong to her, bought for her by these so-called boys who are supposed to have used her for whatever. And then when she goes home, she lives another life because the parents don't take pleasure in coming to visit and check up on her in school. And a lot of parents don't do that. They don't check up on their children in school. They just go and dump them in a school. They say hostel near here, they pay everything, they leave them there. They need to focus on the children, the next generation. At 22, they are supposed to be in school. You know, so at 22, what business do they have playing romance camp at 22?
Some of these suggest it starts at senior high school.
Yes, but I'm saying that the parental care, the parental care,
and all of that.
At 22-year-old boys. 22-year-old boys, what were they doing? So the conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. 22-year-old boys. Do you know what I was doing when I was 22 years? I was a pupil teacher. A1, B1. I was a pupil teacher. 22 years. And it is scary.
Very.
There are people younger than them who are doing the same things. 22-year-old boys. This is sad. And we need to wake up because it looks like it's becoming the style. You know, these days, and I'm not against fashion as well. They do small pese on their head they shave around it. They have one small vehicle, they start small. Before you see, they graduated from Corolla to another one to another, and then they're always looking for something. Can you imagine? I met a 23-year-old boy who was telling me about trying to work to buy a jet. I said, what work do you do? He was standing there looking at me. No, if you are doing a legitimate business, if you tell me that you have, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama has given you, 40 shops to sell cement, and you are selling cement and you are making so much and you are saving and reinvesting into the business, and that in the next 5 years you'll be able to have enough money to buy a Ferrari or Rolls Royce or to build a house or to buy a plane, I don't have a problem. But when I ask you, what work do you do?
I'm a journalist.
What work do I do?
You're a journalist.
What work does Phil do? He's a DJ. So if you ask Phil and he says, oh, this is my plan, you know that, oh, he has something that is raking in some amount of money which he would use to be able to acquire those things. And even that, whatever he acquires must be commensurate with what he earns. Or if it's a gift or whatever it is. But where the person has no job, it is a problem. Go to the Nima areas. Maestro and the rest, they'll tell you, go to the Nima areas. There are boys who park luxurious vehicles along the road. They block one side of the road, park their cars. Go and see where they sleep. Go inside and go and see where they sleep. Go to Mamobi, go to Newtown, go to Aswasi Zongo, go to Konongo Zongo, go to all those places. It's a problem. It's a big problem. And we need to start focusing on it clearly. 22-year-old boy. It is a problem.
For me,
at 22, if you are a young lady, your mother is not supposed to be your maid servant. At 22 or 20, as a young lady, you are not supposed to be the breadwinner of the house. At 22, as a young lady, your nails are not supposed to be too long that they can't hold tomatoes to slice into two. At 22, as a young lady, hold on.
These days they can use the nails for a lot of things.
I'm saying that, so I'm just saying.
I'm also providing a bit more in terms of context.
I'm just saying that if you live in a compound house with your parents, or even if you live in a gated house with your parents, and you leave home for first semester in the university, and you come back as a student, richer than your parents, to the point where you can sleep when your parents are awake to be doing house chores, your father and your mother, they have to catch them to Accra Psychiatric and check their head again. And there are many instances like that. You find young girls, their mothers are washing for them. Then say, how did we become this society? How did we become this kind of society? When you were trying to take the girl to school at the university, you went to actually borrow money. You sold some pieces of your cloth. Certain uncles and aunties had to come to your aid before you could pay the first set of fees and actually get a hall at the university or a hostel for the person to go and live in. Suddenly the person returns after first semester, has the top of the range phone, has money enough to take care of their family.
But I know a hostel in this
on a daily basis.
There's a hostel. During vacation, there are more cars parked outside the hostel. Because they can't send the cars home.
But I was just telling you this right now. I said somebody died at Legon. This was something that was told to me by a trusted source at Legon.
Okay.
Somebody died at Legon, a young girl, allegedly used by somebody to do something. She died.
Yeah.
The parents came to retrieve her belongings from the hostel. Mother packed everything she was going, and the caretaker said, Madam, we'll be here.
Apparently, the mother didn't even know.
The mother did, because she goes to live a different life at home.
Yeah, it's common with that.
And she comes to school and she's a big girl. She doesn't attend lectures. She's all over the place. Nightclub after nightclub, chilling after chilling, weekend on the Bree Mountains, rendezvous, coming back. And sometimes, look, those of us who even work, sometimes you feel intimidated. It takes confidence to walk in this town because you feel intimidated. I've had cause to reject, stuff from people. You go to an eatery you want to eat and say somebody is paying for you, and you check the person who wants to pay for it and say, where's all a for?
John,
how did he get the money to be able to pay for my meal?
You're a bit older than me. I want to find out. It looks like, through observation, is that a canker with us, this generation, where, because I completed GIJ with a lot of my mates. Some told me clearly, when we were going through the phase of internship, and it's like it's something common. Everyone wants to now get rich. Every young boy wants to get rich. Every young girl wants to get rich, but they don't want to go through the mill. Even now with the social media and its payment and all that, everybody
wants to be an influencer.
They monetize and they tell you that they are waiting for their Twitter. So you have a bunch of people going to meet the Bank of Ghana governor because their monetization, their money hasn't come through. People are not really working, if I can use that word. Is it something that is a canker with this generation?
It is not just this generation. You see, we sleep in this country and we wake up and somebody suddenly springs up and he's throwing money all around and he's so rich and filthy rich and doing things. You dare not ask how he made the money.
You hate.
Yes.
They will say you hate it.
Yes, but you hate the person. You dare not ask how did the person make the money. There are people who have, we have seen rich people in this country. The people who made money and you know that this is what he does to make money. There are people who are rumored to have covered up their stuff, whether drug business or whatever.
But we still know a clear part of how
this is what he does. That's why I asked Mariona, what do you do? He said, I'm a journalist. What do I do? I'm a journalist. What do you do? You're a journalist.
Yeah.
So if tomorrow you have a small phone or a small laptop, it is from your sweat.
Yeah.
Or even if it may be a gift from somebody who values the work that you do and says, take this, it will help you to do your work. But if you are a 22-year-old boy and you want to drive a Lamborghini, your father does not have a Buzanga Volvo. You want to drive a Lamborghini at 22 without working.
God has blessed me.
This kind of blessing. Look, you see, so it's the society itself is not about this generation.
Yeah.
It is about what we learn from the older generation.
And it looks like society don't question these things anymore.
When Abu Trika, and without prejudice to the issues, when he was picked up, the people who massed up at the basic court, did you hear what they were saying? They were not talking about what the authorities were fingering Abu Trika for. No. They were not interested in what crime he had committed or not, or he is alleged to have committed or not. They were interested in what they benefit from Abu Trika and how that will be curtailed.
The conversation about he pays fees and
when he goes.
That was what was dominating.
When I was growing up, there were people, I grew up in Abosokan as well.
Okay.
There were people who were known thieves, like pickpockets, some armed robbers and the rest.
Yeah.
Whenever there was a swoop by the then striking force and they come and pick them up, you find people who come out to say, this one, we all know but he's a good man. When we are hungry, he gives you
go to him and all that, yeah.
So he's a very good thief. But is that supposed to be the standard? That's why I'm asking that. We sleep in this country, we wake up, and somebody suddenly comes up, and he's a very rich guy, or a very rich woman. And we don't ask questions. Recently, a lady was arrested in the US, right? One of our Ghanaian musicians, they call them celebrities. I don't see anything celebratory about that. One of the ladies who was arrested is Haja something.
Haja for real. Mona.
Why was she arrested?
Romance.
She wasn't just arrested. She was
incarcerated.
I think for a year.
Why was she incarcerated?
Romance
scam. How did Haja come about? We woke up one morning, and here was this beautiful lady
in your faces,
flaunting money, showing us stuff. Who complained about it? If you dared spoke about it, they say you hate.
Haters.
You hate. And then when eventually,
but this was the same person who also went for an interview and talked about the fact that young girls need to work hard, and
I'm saying that,
and
I'm saying that we also know people who have slept with people's husbands who have come to tell young people to work hard. That one too is there. I'm coming. Don't stop this thing that you do, Marvin. I don't like. It's Friday. Don't spoil my joy. Don't spoil my joy. Relax.
Down for me.
Relax. I'm done.
I beg you.
So, society in itself must now take time to examine. And you know, the strange thing is this. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Sunday will come. Some of these boys, and they are not just, unfortunately, these are Muslim boys from Nima. But there are Christians who also do this.
Oh, the Dada Boat and Co's who
go to church to go and give fat tithes. There are Christians who do this, who have no work experience, who are suddenly made harvest committee chairpersons or fundraising chairpersons. There are Christians who do this, who go to church and they line up people and pay their school fees. There are people who do this, who buy holiday flying tickets for their pastors to travel out, and they do shopping for their wives and Safumami and everybody else. And the pastor mounts the pulpit and cannot tell them, "That says the Lord." Stop it. They cannot say it.
They will tell you they are smart.
They are not smart. The day of reckoning is coming.
It has already started.
It has started. And you see these two boys, I tell you, if I know what I know, they will talk. They will sing like birds. These ones, they have not seen Takashi before.
22-year-olds are very...
They will just keep them inside small, isolate them small, show them something small. They will sing. You think that Hajia did not sing?
In fact, it was in the aftermath of her
that
incarceration that it really picked up heat.
Names will come up.
Names actually came up.
Have you now not noticed that the nightclubs have started closing, the big ones?
Yeah.
And then some of the big boys who used to flaunt money, I got money, I got. You see, they have all started vanishing.
I'm sure.
Their names are already there. That's why I keep saying the FBI is in town.
Right.
The FBI, it will find you.
Yeah.
And when they find you, they will squeeze you.
Absolutely.
So if you're a young person listening to us today, this morning, you are going to finish your SHS.
I think at age 22, we were still at Radio GIG, right?
Can you imagine?
We were still learning how to use the console.
What you were learning at Radio GIG, come and do this for me now.
You see, it's exactly the point he's raising. That at 22, there's a certain path for you.
Tell him, when I brought a young phone home, the way I was ripped.
You look.
Yam phone. No. I was asked,
how did I get the phone? Today, parents don't act. Look, the girl goes for a washing. She doesn't sleep at home. She comes home the next morning and she has pizza. She's coming home around 11 something after leaving home around 4 p.m. Oh. She's coming home the next morning after 11 a.m. and she has pizza. She has a giant Coca-Cola, a giant soft drink. Yeah. She has money. She has this, she has that, she has that. And then she brings
Johnny eats normal. We've gone to see girls and their mothers are there. We are holding hampers.
Their
mothers are pushing.
And their mothers are washing. Their mothers are washing and cooking.
And they are pushing the girls to because we came with
and you see sometimes the father also does not have. So try as he would want to speak. See, he will be looking at the thing. He wants to make a comment, but he cannot say anything because
usually they see through, but they can't make comments because how are you going to provide?
Yeah, but how are you going to feed you yourself? Because when they finish cooking the jollof, you yourself, you eat some of the kanzo.
First day, this woman saw me. Hey, I'm now Kurunaba. Because I brought a politics with this in
My mother doesn't know about this.
I mean, most of the mothers are doing
I understand. And
they feel their awards are a tool to use to move out of poverty. Like most of them see it that way. That okay, my award would be the one to take.
If you don't know, they are being used as sex tools.
Yeah.
Not sex tools, sex tools. Now, I this is my final admonition.
Yeah, wrap up for me.
Today, we will go to the mosque. I want to urge the imams, sheikhs, and malams
to speak about it.
Use the platform. Speak about this. I would want to go to Nima and go and hear the mosque there using these two, Jamal Abubakar, aka Jamal, aka Arrangement, and Kamal Abubakar, aka Lancaster, I would want to go to Nima and hear them talking about them as bad examples in society.
Right.
I would want to go to church on Sunday and hear the pastors in the various churches talk about these things. That is where morality, the church is supposed to be the fiber of morality in society. How is the church holding up to this? They themselves are beneficiaries of the rot.
Because now they are pushing us by force. They want to buy new drums. They want to buy new this.
They want to even go on holidays.
So they want to buy. Osofo wants to buy this.
Osofo and his wife wants to go on holiday.
Osofo will use some sympathy and tell you that his friend was given a Range Rover.
So
by
he
one
also
of his
deserves
members.
round lights.
And all that.
Come earlier.
Round light. Can you imagine?
Let's do sports now with Mutala Yakubu.
Let's do some sports here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Coming up this morning, day 3 of the Africa Athletics Championship has come to a closure, and we'll be getting a report from that. Also, Ghana began at the under-17 AFCON tournament with a draw against Algeria after leading by 2-0. We'll be hearing a lot from that one as well. And also, the Democracy Youth Cup is currently ongoing, and today we'll see the final game being played. Let's start off with the ongoing Africa Senior Athletics Championship, where Ghana's 4x100 men's relay team have booked a place in the final after winning their heat at the ongoing championship. They can potentially increase Ghana's tally over 3 medals on Friday when they compete in the final. And my colleague Bill Shen, who has been there, filed this report.
Day 1 brought hope, Day 2 was disappointing, and Day 3 has brought hope once again. Ghana have finally won some medals at the 2026 edition of the Senior African Athletics Championships. Now, the first person to win a medal for Ghana was Florence Agyemang, who finished third in the 400 meters for the women with 51.87 seconds. And then the floodgates opened because Alex Amankwa also won a bronze for Ghana in the 800 meters with 46.18 seconds. And then also in the high jump, we had a silver medalist, Esther Obenewa, winning silver with 1.81 meters, clearing the bar at that level to claim the silver medal. And then going into the relays, in the 4x100 meter relay, we know that the female team has already advanced to the final, and the male team also advanced to the final by storming to first place in the second heat with 38.69 seconds. The quartet of Edwin Gadayi, Joseph Paul Amwa, Ibrahim Fuseini, and Abdul Rashid Saminu led Ghana to that final place, and they are expected to compete with the likes of Nigeria for the gold medal in there as well. So a lot to look forward to in the next day of the Senior African Athletics competition here at the University of Ghana Stadium.
With that report, they're still on the African Athletics Championship. Team Ghana continues to make stride as Alex Amankwa clinched bronze in the men's 800 meter final after clocking 1 minute 46.18 seconds, becoming Ghana's second medalist at the competition. Earlier, Florence Agyemang secured Ghana's first medal after finishing third in the women's 400 meter final with a time of 51.87 seconds. Speaking after his race, Amankwa expressed delight at winning a medal for Ghana and praised the support from the team and fans.
I'm pretty happy. I thought I could have done a little bit better, but I got a little trapped. But some of the Ghana magic pulled me through the last 100 meters.
Doing this on home soil.
Yeah, no, it means a lot. I was born in Winneba, and to come back here and get a medal for my country, it's a full circle moment, and I'm just so happy to be able to give that back to my country. Of course, man, hey, I have a lot of confidence in myself. I believe in the work I do, and this is just the tipping block. You know, I'm getting older, but I'm getting faster, and I look forward to more challenges and doing more for myself and the country.
All the best, sir.
Thank you.
Alex Amankwa, they're still on the Senior Athletics Championship. But since it started, a number of challenges have been highlighted across social media. One key element is the food for athletes. Now, my colleague Bill Eshen paid visit to the Games Village and comes through with this report.
A key aspect of the 2026 Senior African Athletics Championship is the feeding of athletes. Now, in the first few days of the competition, there has been surfacing of negative videos and pictures of the feeding of the athletes at the competition. And today, we have come to the Games Village. Behind me is that dome, the dining hall where the athletes gather to eat. And we are going to go inside and explore and find out exactly what these athletes are fed before they go onto the field, onto the tracks to compete.
I'm very much impressed by the improvements that have been made. So initially on our first days, it was difficult. Now I'm happy with the change and the improvement. I think the authorities have heard what we're crying about, and they actually did something about it.
I'm sure you saw some of the comments on social media about, the feeding here. I mean, what do you make of it?
That comment is for their own. It's for their own. Me myself, the food is very delicious and very good. So that's what I can say.
This is just the very, very piquant. Yes, just this. I like it. This is very good. The breakfast, the bread and the chocolate, the coffee too.
It's actually pretty good.
So Bill there with that report from the Game Village, with many of the athletes now saying that the food has improved massively. Away from athletics, let's do some football where super sub Mohamed Fousseni scored the winner as Royal Union Saint-Gilloise lifted Belgium's Cronky Cup following a 3-1 victory over Anderlecht in extra time. The Brussels derby final was played at the Lotto Park, which saw Union Gilloise triumph in extra time with the Ghanaian forward scoring the eventual match winner. Having won the second and third edition of the Belgian Cup in 1913 and 1914, Union ended a 110-year drought in 2024 by defeating Royal Antwerp in the final. Now, 2 years later, Union have repeated that feat, with Fousseni being the hero of the side, and he spoke after the game.
It was an amazing feeling. I was a bit disappointed for the time I came in, but then I just had to give my best to the team, and then I was able to have a goal to help the team win the Crocky Cup. But to be honest, I had a rough season. The beginning of the season, I was injured for half of the season, and then I really worked hard to be back, and these are some of the moments I really worked hard to be back with, and then I'm really happy I'm able to get some few goals before the season ends. For me to keep scoring, help the team, we have an important game on Sunday, and this will be like the decisive match, and for me I'm ready and I want to score again. If not 2 goals, 1 goal, and then I can help the team so we can be champions of Belgium again.
Mohamed Fousseni there speaking after helping Saint Union Gilloise to beat Anderlecht to win the Belgian Cup. Let's still stay on football, where Black Stars forward Antoine Semenyo has been nominated for the 2025-26 Premier League Player of the Season award after an outstanding campaign that has seen him shine for both AFC Bournemouth and Manchester City. The versatile forward and the recognition following a remarkable season where he's registered 16 goals and 4 assists in 35 league appearances. Semenyo's performance played a key role in City's push for the title after his January transfer from Bournemouth. Let's now do some grassroots football where Atram Divise Soccer Academy emerged champions of the Maiden Democracy Youth Cup after defeating JPFC 3-1 in an entertaining final at the La Magdan Town Park in Accra. The Academy capped an impressive tournament campaign with another dominant display to secure the title and walk away with 10,000 Ghana cedi in cash prize, and also have some of their players being selected to have an opportunity of having trials outside the country. Former Sunderland player Gary Bennett was present throughout the tournament, and here is his reaction.
That's one thing. That's one reason why I'm here, because I know the amount of quality what they've got in Ghana. What we need to do is give them a pathway to go out there and show what quality they have got and give these young people an opportunity. Definitely so. I think when you've seen the technical ability which these young people have got, has been fantastic. What you just need to work on now is obviously the other side of it as well, is the mental attitude side of it. And if you can do that, then you've got one or two good players who can hopefully, fingers crossed, make it in Europe.
Gary Bennett, the former Sunderland player, was present at the Democracy Cup. Let's do some women's football where Azake's lady CEO, Dr. Evelyn Nsiasari, has expressed confidence in the team's ability to recover from last season's trophyless run and end the current campaign on a strong note. Their final opportunity for silverware comes in the Women's FA Cup final this Sunday, where they face Army Ladies at the Ohene Park in Kukrantumi, and it would be a big one. Now, speaking after presenting their league as silverware medals to sponsors, Dr. Nsiasari noted that the final offers the team a crucial chance to avoid back-to-back trophyless season.
We believe that we are not going to disappoint in the FA Cup. We pray that the preparations that we have done so far, God should be our helper so that we can bring the trophy. At least we cannot go trophyless for the whole season. Last season was very bad. We couldn't even win our zone. But this year we won the zone, but we couldn't lift the main trophies.
Dr. Nsiasari, one of the defenders for Azake's Ladies, Blessing, is also saying that they are determined to win the cup.
Well, we are prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, even though the last game we lost had a turn on us, most especially emotionally, but like it's football, so we have to pick our pieces together and come back to what we know how to do best. So I think we are ready.
So that is a blessing there. Let's finish off with the ongoing Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. The Black Stars surrounded a 2-goal advantage to settle for a 2-2 draw against Algeria in their opening Group D fixture on Thursday evening. With a comfortable 2-0 cushion inside the first 10 minutes, the Black Stars appeared to be cruising towards an important opening victory. Despite Ghana's impressive first-half display, Algeria emerged from the break with a renewed determination and intensity. The team must now quickly regroup and focus on their second game of the campaign, where they will take on South Africa to ensure that they qualify for the next round of the competition. That's all by way of sports here on 3FM Sunrise. For more, just log on to all our socials at 3 Sports GH. My name is Mutala Yakubu. The show continues after this.